Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us. I think we've got one of the busiest sessions, which is no surprise given the two gentlemen to my left. Thank you for joining us in NEOM House. I'm Giles Ritchie, Marketing Director at NEOM, and I'd like to introduce our next session, which is going to be focused around innovation. NEOM and McLaren Racing announced their strategic partnership back in 2022, with NEOM becoming, amongst other things, a title partner of NEOM McLaren Electric Racing. The partnership aims to drive change on and off track by providing a platform for industry innovation. Both businesses have a shared commitment to sustainability. The partnership allows for collaboration and knowledge sharing across sports, talent development, and innovation. With that, I'd like to introduce our speakers. To my left, Zak Brown, CEO of McLaren Racing, and Vishal Wanchoo, CEO of Oxagon, which is NEOM's industrial city, to discuss more on how McLaren Racing and NEOM are working together to champion progress in business. So Zak, I'd like to start with you. Racing is a performance business. It's measured in milliseconds, and the rate of development and innovation is relentless. Innovation is also a key pillar for Oxagon. So I'd just like to ask you, as an innovation company, how do you curate and manage a high-performance ecosystem and culture?
Absolutely. Good afternoon, everyone. I think it starts with people, right? Well, technology plays an immense role in what we do. We're technically the most sophisticated sport in the world. If you look at what comes together to build a Formula One car or go racing in Formula E. But it all starts with people and with a real focus on youth, because they embrace technology, they are our future, and so that is one of the many things that gets us excited about our partnership with NEOM. Is very much shared belief, the focus on youth, the programs that we have where we're learning from each other. It's an absolute fascinating project, as I've traveled many times and got to know the individuals and the aspiration, and it's very inspirational. And so we're doing a lot of great work together. I think what a lot of people don't know is, as a racing team, we are able to deploy our technology, our know-how into other industries, and that gets very exciting. So of course we wake up every day wanting to win the next race, but we also want to use our knowledge and know-how to make the world a more exciting, innovative place, and that's where our great partnership comes in.
Definitely. And on to you, Vishal. We've obviously seen kind of evolution in motorsport, growing investment in electric racing is a kind of clear example of that. In terms of industry innovation and kind of sustainable manufacturing, can you outline some of the challenges that are sort of facing industries today?
Good afternoon, and it's great to be here with you, Zak. And I can't start this session by saying congratulations on an amazing 2024. It's great to see the rise of McLaren, and what a close. It's exciting. So I just want to spend. In fact, Zak and I were talking just before we came up here, and I was asking how things are going at Oxagon. I thought it would be good to just give you a quick update. You know, Oxagon is the home of advanced and clean industries within NEOM. We've really been focused on attracting industries. We're making great progress on that. And we have a huge project, which is the green hydrogen project. It's going to come online producing 650 tons of green hydrogen by the end of next year. And that is the core of the energy transition. So we really are investing in the future. But a huge part of the pillar of Oxagon is, and NEOM, is innovation. And that's how, of course, we got engaged with McLaren, and it's been a fantastic relationship. You know, back to Giles, your kind of core question on industries. As we're talking to industries coming in, really a key criteria for them is how they're going to move their industrial footprint to a sustainable future, right? Reducing emissions and really driving sustainability. And a lot of that comes back to the core of, you know, what Zak, you mentioned. It's about technology. It's about people, high-performance teams. That's what you do really, really well. And so I think we can apply a lot of those principles to ensure that these companies are moving on that sustainability journey. So I think there's a lot of commonality.
So, I mean, I think the common theme is, you know, technology, being able to kind of challenge and answer these solutions by kind of deploying new technologies. One of the key pillars, Zak, that NEOM is passionate about, and I know McLaren are passionate about, is sustainability. Everything we do, sustainable innovation. I know it's also a key thing when you guys go racing is how do you do that in a sustainable way? How do you do that in an innovative way? So just be great if you could elaborate a little bit more on what you're doing with your partners and how you bring that sustainability to life.
Yeah, we'd like to think we're the leader in Formula One, and that's not about beating the competition. That's about leading and then hopefully inspiring our fellow competitors to come along on the journey, which the whole sport is. We were the first team to produce a sustainability report a few years ago. And I think what was important about that was being very transparent, not marking our own scorecard, showing where we have come from, where we are today, most importantly, where we're going. I believe sustainability is a journey where you never reach your final destination, because with technology and innovation, you're always going to be able to do something better, faster, higher performing in a more sustainable way forever. So you need to be in the mindset of that just becomes part of who you are and what you do. We've pioneered some B carbon, some new materials around our Formula One car that's sustainable. Our kind of moonshot idea is we'd love to have a full circular Formula One car, which I think today you kind of look at the various aspects, but we can get there. And you see what NEOM's doing. It's never been done before, but they'll get there. And so it's the similar mindset. And then that's where I think people come into play, getting the right people in. The youth are amazing at what they're able to do and the way they think and the way they've grown up around technology. And then, of course, there's some, say, more basic stuff. We're trying to kind of be on the water and not in the air as much as possible until, things like hydrogen, which is going to be, I think, play a much bigger role in the world as far as kind of fuels and propelling. And so we're looking at things like that and our travel schedule, logistics. So there's kind of some block and tackle where you could make some immediate progress, which we're doing. And then there's things that need to be developed. There's also a big aspect of sustainability. People kind of, for the most part, think purely of climate, but you can also put safety into the sustainability category, if you'd like. And that's something that Formula One cars are unbelievably safe, and the technology that we've pioneered around safety has been amazing. And then we take some of our technologies and we've been able to deploy that in the medical industry around things like prosthetics, because we know materials, lightweighting, shock absorption. So, we're here to entertain people with our racing programs and then and to be entertainment, but then to use these technologies and know how to work around the world to see where we can take our cutting edge technology and apply it to industries and countries that are much larger than the footprint that McLaren has. So I think some of the biggest impact we'll have on sustainability isn't what our small little company of 1,000 people do. It's going to be cities that we can impact, and that's quite exciting.
Definitely, and I think, McLaren, you're active in probably more series than any other race team. I think a lot of people probably don't realize you are effectively in the logistics business like Vishal. Again, on the surface, an industrial city and a, technology business such as yourself, they maybe not seem the kind of unique or kind of similar partners, but actually there's so many areas in which that knowledge transfer can go both ways. So,
well, the reason I was asking earlier how things were coming along is because we're moving in. So I was like, when am I getting my keys?
But I think, maybe Vishal, you can kind of just allude to some of the shared approaches between both organizations. And, we've been in this partnership with McLaren since 2022. Just give us some of the highlights of what we've been able to achieve over the past 3 years together.
Great, and I want to make it tangible because, we started off at a very high level talking about kind of the principles of how we could use what McLaren does so well. And I'm going to start with a key principle that we talked about in the early days of the partnership, which, Zak, I know you do all the time, which is the use of data, right? But everyone talks about big data and, the amount of data you collect. from a race or from a car is enormous, right? So the concept of really utilizing key data for improvement. So if you think about the future of manufacturing, which is very important for us in terms of how do we move our industries forward on the maturity curve, data becomes really, really important. And manufacturing is going to be filled with sensors and outputting data. And the question is, how to use that data to improve the manufacturing process, which impacts everything. Energy efficiency, water efficiency usage, material circularity, all of that. So I want to come back to kind of what we've done together. As Giles said, we launched a partnership in 22. We said, so how do we move forward on this innovation journey? And we went to market. We were looking at supply chain logistics and how do we look at the future of innovation and supply chain logistics. And went out to 10 countries. We got 800 applications. We had a problem statement that we put out, or statements. We had 800 applicants. We shortlisted essentially down to 7 companies in the end. These are scale-up companies with innovative technologies, and we had a 12-week program between McLaren and Oxagon. And I can tell you that it's real proof on the ground, because we put these companies through this program. Involves virtual as well as on-site training. So they've been to the McLaren Technology Center, experience high-performance teams, use of data, innovation techniques. And I'm happy to say that 3 of these companies are actually moving into the next phase. Right? So we have a company called Nobility from South Korea. They're in robotics and in last-mile delivery. They're actually deployed at NEOM today. So next time you come, Zach, you can actually see the fruits of kind of the partnership, actual activation on the ground. And now they're really looking at scaling across the kingdom. Another great example is a German company called Autonomy. They do autonomous vehicles, and we've been testing that in the port of NEOM, right, which is a crucial strategy for us, is to really have not only the most sustainable port, but also highly, highly automated for efficiency purposes. So it's been a great journey so far. We actually have a second cohort that we ran in 2024, and that's focused around the smart port. Right? So I think there's a lot more really innovation, I think, in companies that we can take through this process, that we can see real action on the ground.
And Zach, I mean, you've been out to NEOM several times, but it's not just you and the kind of team coming from McLaren visiting us in NEOM and Oxagon. We've been very fortunate to have 4 graduates who've been working with you and the team at the MTC in Woking. But again, in terms of other areas that we've been able to collaborate on, it would be remiss of me not to bring up kind of AI, it being the theme of Davos. We obviously collaborated very closely with the team on the world's first generative AI livery in Formula E. But Vishal, talk to me a little bit about what's happening with Oxagon and around the world of kind of AI.
Well, the first thing I would say is that you can't walk down the promenade without seeing AI plastered on some wall. So. Zach and I were talking about that on how these things move. We had sustainability and then crypto and AI, but AI is clearly here to stay. There's no question about that. So what we've been looking at is kind of 2 things. We know that AI is going to be critical in really advancing the state-of-the-art in manufacturing, without a doubt. But also what we've been looking at specifically within Oxagon is how can we help the journey of really building at scale AI data centers that are the highest level of sustainability in the world. And we're kind of a special location where we can actually do that. And that's why the Green Hydrogen Project was so attractive as really the first large one to locate at Oxagon, because we can produce renewable energy at a very attractive cost. We can use innovative seawater cooling techniques. AI data centers are power hungry, they're cooling hungry. And so you're going to require large amounts of energy and cooling technology. So we're actually working with company to establish very large footprint of AI data centers at Oxagon, and we actually hope to be in execution mode on that later this year. And hopefully we can use a lot of that capacity and capability to advance the state of manufacturing. And I'm sure we'll continue to work with you, Zach, and your team, again, on, because we're going to need a lot of companies, again, to come in and innovate and do new generative AI models for, advancing state-of-the-art in manufacturing.
I think it's going to create so much more productivity for the world and for people, because we all have on our to-do list 20 things we need to do every day, and you never get to those last 5. And if AI can step in and help make us as human beings more productive, there's always conversation around, is it going to replace? And in my view, it's just going to enable way more productivity for our people, and means, hey, we can have AI tackle these 5 things on the list, so we can add another 5 things to the list. So I think the productivity and the pace that we'll move at, and I think that's, I always say in the factory, where can you lean into technology to make us go faster, be more efficient, more sustainable? So I think the two are going to come together really well.
Talking of to-do lists, you're probably a very busy man with the number of racing series, and I'm sure lots of people in the audience, know you from Drive to Survive. Obviously, we've got the F1 calendar, Formula E is already underway. Where are you off to next? What's up for?
I travel a lot. I'm about 270 nights a year on the road. It'd be great if we could kind of get back to the Jetsons. Some of you might not know the Jetsons. That's all I am, where you can just space travel everywhere. That would be productive, and that's probably not far away from happening one of these days. So, we've got our Formula One team, our Formula E team, our IndyCar team in North America. Our first Formula One race is in March. As you say, we're a couple races in, and second in the championship in Formula E at the moment. Won Brazil last year, which was great. Our IndyCar season will start in March. Just got a note, we had our first engine fire up today, which is always very exciting, of our Formula One car. And there's going to be a massive rule change in 26. So Formula One teams are under pressure to get their 25 car ready and be prepared for 26. And there's very little carryover between the 25 car to 26. It's going to be a huge technical challenge for the sport. We will launch our car in the middle of Feb, so in about 30 days, everyone will be able to start seeing what these awesome Formula One cars look like. We'll test a week later, and then off to Australia, China, Japan, Bahrain, Saudi are the first 5 races. I think it's going to be an epic season. This last year was an epic season. It was great going down to the last race, battling Ferrari for the world championship. There's kind of no other team I'd rather race to the end than Ferrari. That's kind of the dream story. And but I think it's going to be even closer this year. Our whole field is separated by 2%. So the mindset of everyone at McLaren to wake up every day trying to go a little bit better today than we did yesterday, striving for perfection, but there is no such thing as perfection, because you can always improve a bit. So that's the mindset of trying to get 1,000 people all going, I just want to do a little better tomorrow, because when you're only 2% best to worst, the smallest incremental gain is a big deal. And so quite excited to get going.
Well, we, whichever series it is, we look forward to welcoming you in the kingdom, and also in NEOM again to come and visit. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you could give Vishal and Zak a very big round of applause.
Thank you.
If we could just let both of them leave, because they've got meetings to head to. I know that a lot of you will be keen to grab selfies, but if we could just let both of them just get out of the presentation space, and I'm sure if they can, they will hang around for a little bit of time. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Charles.